professional opinion that now is the time to panic.
If we're talking about panicking, you know what it's got to be talking about? That's right, Daniel Jones. This is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Back on the mic, back on the screen. We're going to try to do some more on-camera stuff. Why? I don't know. People have asked for it. The hair is on point tonight. I'm not going to lie. This video is coming out Saturday, but I'm recording Friday, late Friday night. But the hair is on point. If you go back and take a look right now, the last 3 days, you could say Daniel Jones has had a yo-yo effect. He's been up, he's been down, he's been throwing multiple interceptions to Mr. Holmes. He's made some questionable decisions. He's made some head scratchers today, especially in the third and long scenarios that they were practicing. And you don't want to panic. You don't want to sit there and go, all right, we have to give up on this kid. Going into year 4, you probably think you would want to give up on the kid, but you can't do that just yet. But it's getting a little disconcerting right now. It's getting a little bit to the point that you're like, maybe we could put in the OG QB. Maybe we could put in Tyrod Taylor. Maybe we can do something different. Maybe we can get Tyrod some first team reps, because the fact that it seems that Daniel's making the same mistakes, having the same issues, having the inability to make the correct reads. And in the Dable/Kafka offense, you are going to open up the playbook. You are going to have 4 wide receivers. You're potentially sometimes 5. You're going to throw everything but the kitchen sink at the defense. You have a quarterback that needs to make quick decisions, who needs to scan and monitor the field, process from his brain fast enough, and get the ball out of his hand. You can't have these plays where there was a play yesterday, which was Friday, or 2 days ago, which was, it was Friday, whatever. No, it still would be yesterday. That evidently he threw a pass that the nearest person around was Xavier McKinney. And people are like, what the hell is he throwing to? They had an unofficial report where I think they said he was 17 out of 24. And even then they were saying that was not as impressive as it sounds. He's still having problems deciphering plays. And like I said, I am not going to panic because it's only day 3 going into day 4. I'm not going to let's see what happens that first preseason game. Let's get a better understanding. But you have to reach a pinnacle where you sit there and say, maybe we just need to take a look at Tyrod. Tyrod's evidently made some plays. He's made a share of mistakes. He's probably more familiar with Dable. But maybe we just need to take a look at what he has, what he can do, what he can offer, how he can move that first team. Because it's outside of some nice catches by Richie James and Kadarius Toney, Daniel Jones has not been playing well at all. And if you take a look at some of these catches, it's not like they were good throws. They're spectacular catches because they were bad throws. So sometimes even when you do something bad, someone can make you look good. And I get worried about that. I get worried about the fact that the complexity of this this offense may be just too much for Daniel Jones to process. If you watched his last 3 years of his career, one of his biggest issues, even going back to the Shermer days, was making that quick decision. And that's what you're going to have to do in this offense when you are now also giving the receiver the flexibility to change his routes. It's going to be kind of like what the Kevin Gilbride did. Kevin Gilbride, when he was with the Giants in early parts of Eli Manning's career in the Super Bowl runs, he gave the receivers the opportunity to make adjustments on the play, to change the routes when necessary. Now, I get worried when you had the likes of Kadarius Toney doing that and rookies like Wan'Dale Robinson. Kenny G is not known for that. So I get a little worried about that. But when you have that, you have to make sure you're on the same simpatico page as your wide receiver is. Will Daniel Jones be that? I don't know. And I laugh because Vegas has this, the odds in Vegas are that we are the leading candidate to get Jimmy G. And like I've said before, I'd rather go out and get the Garoppolo. I really would. But this poor play from Daniel Jones at times is getting concerning. Now, I don't think anyone's going to trade for Jimmy G. I think with the fact that what's going to happen is he's going to get released at some point in time. Because it looks like they're going on to Trey Lance. So he looks like he's going to get released at some point in time. Am I a huge fan of Jimmy G? No. Do I think he is an upgrade from Daniel Jones? Yeah, I guess you have to say yes. Even though I think the most throws he's had in a season, I think was 466. And he's never healthy. So you could potentially have Jimmy G not healthy, Daniel Jones not healthy, and Tyrod Taylor not healthy. And then you got Davis Webb hanging out somewhere in the background. Is he a better option for the short-term future of this team, Jimmy G? No. Daniel Jones is a better option for the short-term health of this team because of the fact that he's playing on a 1-year deal. He's playing on an expired time. He's like that milk in the back of the refrigerator. It's July 28th and it's already July 30th. And you're like, well, I can squeeze another day out of this. And that's what I think Daniel Jones is. He's almost like he's expired milk. So bringing in Jimmy G, unless you're planning on giving him 3 years, that makes no sense. And I know some people are like, well, they have no plan for 2023. Well, we haven't got through 2022 yet, and people are already talking about no plan in 2023. I love all the people that are so hyped about Daniel Jones, all the Daniel Jones lovers, all the people out there that are doing things saying, oh, Daniel Jones is so often. But as soon as you bring up Jimmy G, they're already ready to dump him. What does that tell you about this kid? And I've said this before. I said in this video yesterday, do not panic. Do not get overly concerned about this kid until there is a reason. Now, they may potentially be a reason if this keeps going up for the next 4 or 5 days in practice, we might have a reason. And that first preseason game is already rapidly approaching. And you're installing a new offense. You have a new guy calling the plays in Kafka. I still don't think Kafka's going to call the plays. I think he's just getting experience in camp because from when you looked at these third and long situations yesterday, Wink had the upper hand. Wink proved that he's a veteran coordinator and going up against a novice. So you can't have that going into the season. And I've said this before. There are going to be times that people are going to throw stuff at Kafka that he's never seen before. So he's going to have to figure these things out on the fly. But I'm not sure he can do that yet because he does not have the experience. Like I said, he's been in the league for a hiccup. But thinking that Jimmy G is the answer, first your problem is he's owed $23 million if you trade for him. That's your first problem. You have $6 million in cap space. And I love the people who are like, well, we could just go out and find the cap space. Really? Because that's how we got in this trouble. That's how we got in cap purgatory with what we did with our cap space that we just went out and found. Second of all, you're going to have to give a good portion, maybe 5 to 8, actually probably 5 to 10% of your next year's cap. I would say more than 5. I would say 7 to 12% of your next year's total cap number to Jimmy G to come in and be your starting quarterback in 2023. As long as you're planning on drafting someone. Then you have to worry about what you're going to do with Tyrod Taylor. So the OG QB is going to be your backup while Jimmy G runs the rest of the show. I don't know, man. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not seeing it. And I've said this before. You want Daniel Jones to do his best. I'm trying to find my sound effects because now you can see me looking for sound effects. You want Daniel Jones to do his best. You want Daniel Jones to spread his wings and, of course, you can't keep me cooped up in here, okay? I am a peacock. You gotta let me fly. You gotta let Daniel Jones fly, but you're going to reach a point, and Dable's going to reach a point, and we've talked about this ad nauseum. Daniel Jones is not Brian Dable's guy. He is not Joe Shane's guy. You win with your guys. Joe Shane went and got his coach. Now Joe Shane has to go and get his quarterback that is going to run the system that him and Brian Dable want to work through. And if you're a Daniel Jones fan, I have no problem with that. That's fine. But you have to remember, Dable's already come out and said that we have to find a way to teach Daniel Jones how to protect himself on the field. You're going into your 4th year in the league. We shouldn't hear these statements. We shouldn't hear these statements that we have to learn to crawl before we can walk. We shouldn't be hearing these things. Not for a guy that's a 4th-year quarterback. And I don't want to hear the crap that, the juggernaut screwed him up. And so did Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett and I want to break the news to people, but Jason Garrett and Kansas City do run some similar style offensive sets. I don't want to point that out to anybody because that again would be factual. We don't like facts. We just like fandom. We just want to yell and say he's going to be great. You don't know this, and if you keep making the same mistakes repeatedly, we're going to fall into that trap again. I've already said this is a lost season. 5, 6 wins tops. But the problem with being in a lost season is you still need to see improvement. You still need to see progression. You still need to see what this team can do. And you have to be worried about the depth on the offensive line because John Feliciano went out today. And evidently the line under it which is with Douglas, it looked horrid. Hasn't looked great with Feliciano either, but we just don't really have a true center on this team as well. There are a lot, and like getting back to the fact that you can't keep saying everyone else screwed up Daniel Jones with Daniel Jones. He's had all these different offensive coordinators. He's had all these different head coaches. The Duck on the Chargers at one point in time, going back to college, had 5 different offensive coordinators in 5 years, going from college to the pros. I believe he had 3 different offensive coordinators the first 3 seasons in the NFL and 2 wins last year in college. He did okay. You want to talk about a bad offensive line? There's some bum in Cincinnati named Burrows who had one of the worst offensive lines in the league. I don't know what the hell he did. You can't just say people that everything is everyone else's fault but Daniel Jones's. And we've talked about this. My only thought process is this. You are reaching a point within the next week, let's say, that if he continues to mightily struggle, which he's evidently been doing, except maybe outside a couple runs, you have to think of something else. You have to just shake something up and say, you know what, let's give Tyrod a shot. I'm not saying go get Jimmy. If you're going to go get Jimmy G, if they release him and you're going to go get him and they give you, and he gives you like let's just say he gives you a 1-year deal at $6 million on a prove it deal, which I don't think he's going to do. I think someone's going to get money. You figure someone like Seattle will give him like a 3-year deal. If he wants to come here for $6 million that first year, then maybe kind of accelerate in 23, 24. I have no problem with that. With it out in 24, I got no problem with that. But he's not the answer. He's not even the question. And that's what we need to focus on. We're going to have the big stream on Sunday at 10:30. Our 10:30 Sunday stream is back. We got a little announcement. We got something fun that we're doing for everyone that watches the channel. Don't forget also August 5th, which is a Friday. I think it's going to be 9 p.m. We're doing a stream to give away the Coaches Club ticket. You're going to hang out in the Coaches Club with me, OGR Sports, the venerable James Williams, and Dominic Palmer, who's flying all the way in from the UK. You'll also be on the field with me when I do my 40-yard pass challenge. I'm going to drop a perfect 40-yard pass to James Williams in the end zone after the game. That's going to be a lot of fun. So you'll be able to stay tuned for that. But like I said, let's take everything with a grain. Let's hope today is a better day for Daniel Jones. Let's hope Monday and Tuesday is a better day. Because I don't want to say it can't get worse because it can get worse. It can get worse at any time. But you know what? Jimmy's not the answer. If you want to shake something up, throw Davis Webb in, throw Tyrod Taylor, and do something different. Be bold, and mighty forces will come to your aid. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you can subscribe, if you can ring that bell, you know what it means? Well, that'd be awesome.